Good morning, Archivists. Let's talk about Labyrinth Jeweled Opus, releasing with Phantom Monarchs, and how it interacts with certain rules and cards. We're focusing today on the second ability, locked behind a Sheen 10 Plus restriction bubble. This ability reads, your champion has spellshroud and stealth, as long as they are awake, and an opponent with most cards in memory has 6 or less cards in memory. On its face, we have a straightforward conditional ability. Is your champion awake? Do all opponents have 6 or fewer cards in memory? If yes to both, then your champion has both spellshroud and stealth. Let's get to the interactions. First up is Revealing Mesmer. This card has an activated ability that says each champion loses spellshroud until end of turn. Both of these effects add or subtract an ability, and as such, they are on the same layer of interaction. Because of this, we're going to care about timestamps. Revealing Mesmer's ability will have a timestamp tied to the resolution of the activated ability, not when Revealing Mesmer entered the field. Labyrinth Jeweled Opus effect, however, will have a timestamp tied to when Labyrinth entered the field, not when you meet the restriction bubble. Whichever effect has a later timestamp will be the one to apply. If Labyrinth is on the field, and then a Revealing Mesmer's activated ability resolves, no champion will have spellshroud. Another rule to note is how exactly targeting and costs are handled in the activation of a card. If you go to activate a card, there are several steps in the process we mostly gloss over, as they're not typically relevant at most levels of the game. In this case, however, sequencing is important. Without getting too deep into card activation, we will note that target selection occurs before paying costs. For example, Sparklight. This is a mage spell action card that has a reserve cost of 2. If you have 5 cards in memory, then go to play Sparklight and want to target a Merlin that has Labyrinth's second ability active, she'll have spellshroud, so you won't be able to target her. You will have to select a valid target instead, which could be your own champion. On the stealth aspect, attack cards can make this confusing at first glance. Attack cards don't select a unit to attack until after they've resolved. If paying the cost of an attack would put you at 7 or more cards in memory before the card resolves, the Merlin in question would no longer have stealth, and you could then select her as a target for the attack, and then choose a weapon to attack with if you want. If you found this helpful, click the buttons below, leave a comment, ask questions about rules that you'd like to see a video on. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow.